64,000 is the median number of words per book. Average person reads about 200 words per minute. Simple math will tell us that is one book in 320 minutes. To accomplish this in 7 days, numbers say you would have to read for 45 minutes a day. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button, like, comment, and share. Enjoy.
Hello, and happy day. How does slowing down sound to you today? Would you like to reduce the noise for just a bit? Are you ready to make a choice and decide to listen? My name is Igor S.F. Walker. I am here to remind people to slow down, to reduce the noise, to walk their lives into a natural flow. Welcome back to the Book of the Week series. Every week as I read another amazing title, I share it with the world, and today we look at Surrounded by Idiots, the 4 types of human behavior and how to effectively communicate with each in business and in life, by Thomas Erikson. In this video, we look at a simple yet groundbreaking method for assessing the personalities of people we communicate with in and out of office, based on 4 personality types: red, blue, green, and yellow. We discover how we can adjust the way we speak and share information. This will help you understand yourself better, hone communication and social skills, handle conflict with confidence, improve dynamics with your boss and team, and get the best out of people you deal with and manage. Stick around till the end. I will share with you some tools I haven't used that will help you tremendously in this game of life. Discover a way to find out what actually motivates you, what innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. I will share some tools to improve your self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management. Up until now, you might have wondered why you are so different. Human behavior is, for the most part, complex and nebulous, and in some cases, the people around us are idiotic. Understanding human behavior is a never-ending task, an endless pursuit to know the how, the what, and the why behind a person's choices. It is both easy and dangerous to categorize someone who behaves differently from you as ignorant, wrong, or even thick-headed. Today's world requires a more sophisticated understanding, and we value the persons for their strengths and weaknesses. The most important lesson that you can walk away with is that the idiots who surround you are in fact not idiots at all. Instead, they are individuals worthy of respect, understanding, and being valued. Anyone can use the frameworks outlined in this book to get ahead in the game of life. And look at it this way: if you do not understand and use the principles, you will continue to be surrounded by idiots, and nobody wants that. DISC, DISC, an acronym that stands for dominance, inspiration, stability, and compliance ability system. These 4 terms are the primary behavior types which describe how people see themselves in relationship to their environment. Each of these behaviors and these behavior types are associated with the color red, yellow, green, and blue. Everything you say to a person is filtered through his or her frames of reference, biases, and preconceived ideas. What remains is ultimately the message that he or she understands. For many different reasons, he or she can interpret what you want to convey in a totally different way than you intended. This is one of the many challenges of communication. By adjusting yourself to how other people want to be treated, you become more effective in your communication. Why is this so important? You help other people understand you by creating a secure arena for communication on their terms. You can behave exactly as you wish. All you have to do is find the right situation in which to do so. There are two situations in which you can be just you. Just be you. The first situation is when you are alone in a room. Then it doesn't matter how you speak or what you do. It doesn't hurt anyone if you scream and swear, or if you just want to sit silently and ponder the great mysteries of life, or wonder why fashion models always look so mad. In your solitude, you can behave exactly the way you feel. Simple, isn't it? In any other situation, it might be a good idea to understand how you are perceived and to learn how other people function. There are 4 main categories of behavior types, each of which is associated with the color. About 80% of all people have a combination of 2 colors that dominate their behavior. Approximately 5% have only 1 color that dominates behavior, and then the others are dominated by 3 colors. What should we do? We'll do it my way now. This is the behavior type that the Hippocrates, in his theory of human temperament, called choleric. Nowadays you might call a red person bold, ambitious, driven, but also potentially hot-tempered, rash, or dominant. You will quickly notice a red person because he doesn't make the slightest effort to conceal who he or she is. That sounds fun. Let me do it. In the Hippocratic world, we have now come to the sanguine person. What other words can be used to describe this person? Optimistic and cheerful, a person with a bright outlook on life. The thesaurus even suggests the epithet, a man of possibilities. How about that? It is in fact an excellent description of yellow behavior. These are people who live to live, always finding opportunities for enjoyment. Life is a banquet. And yellows will see to it that they savor every bite. They are driven by merriment and laughter. And why not? The sun is always shining somewhere. How are we going to do this? It's not urgent, right? The green person is the most common. You will meet this person virtually everywhere. What's the easiest way to explain who she is? Well, I would like to describe her as a being the average of all other colors. Now, please do not interpret that as something negative. Keep in mind what this truly implies. While reds are stressed performance seekers, yellows are creative, driven guys, and blues are perfectionists. Greens are most balanced. They counterbalance the other more extreme behavior traits in an elegant way. Hippocrates calls them phlegmatic people. The Aztecs call them earth people. Calm, leisurely, and easygoing are some words that could also describe them. Why are we doing this? What's the science behind it? The last of the 4 colors is an interesting fellow. You've probably met him. He doesn't make a fuss about himself, but he does keep tabs on what is happening around him. While the green will just go with the flow, a blue has all the right answers. In the background, he analyzes, classifies, evaluates, assesses, You know you've met a blue if you visit someone's home, and everything is organized in a particular way. Clear labels or names on each hooks so that the children will know exactly where to hang up their jackets. Dinner menus divided into 6-week intervals to ensure balanced diet. Stuck on the refrigerator door. If you look at his tools, you will find that everything has its own spot and nothing is out of place. Why? A blue do-it-yourself guy always puts back where they belong. He's also a pessimist. Sorry, a realist. He sees errors and he sees risks. He's the melancholic who closes the circle of behavior. Reserved, analytical, and detail-oriented are some words you might associate with the blue. Now, an important thing to note, if the question doesn't come up, it is unlikely that your blue buddy will say anything on the subject. He has no need to tell everyone about what he knows. Of course, blue doesn't know everything. No one can. But you can usually bank on the fact that what he says is correct. There are individuals around us who are under less favorable circumstances we may find challenging to understand. There are others we don't understand at all, no matter what the situation is. And the most difficult to interact with are those who aren't like us, because they obviously behave incorrectly. Some people are issue-oriented and others are relation-oriented, while two of them, red and yellow, are quick to act. The greens and blues are reflective. This is often the source of everyday misunderstandings, both large and small. In all honesty, all of us, on occasion, have just stood there, unable to comprehend a comment we heard or watched someone behave in a way that is diametrically opposed to how we would have behaved, and so we believe that they're idiots. The reasoning assumes that I am always right, which of course means that the other person and their form of behavior is automatically wrong. Now, a wise person once said that just because you're right, I don't have to be wrong. We also tend to pay special attention to the faults and shortcomings of others. Child psychologists have argued that the things we find most shocking in the behavior of our children are the things we recognize in ourselves, but wish we didn't do. As always, it is all about self-awareness. Good qualities can become drawbacks in the wrong circumstance, no matter what the quality is. Reds are quick and more than happy to take command if needed. They make things happen. However, when they do get going, they become control freaks and can be hopeless to deal with. And they repeatedly trample on people's toes. Yellows can be amusing, creative, and elevate the mood regardless of who they're with. However, when they are given unlimited space, they will consume all the oxygen in the room. They will not allow anyone into a conversation, and their stories will reflect reality less and less. The friendly greens are easy to hang out with because they are so pleasant and genuinely care for others. Unfortunately, they can be too wishy-washy and unclear. Anyone who never takes a stand eventually becomes difficult to handle. You don't know where they really stand. And indecision kills the energy in other people. The analytical blues are calm, level-headed, and they think before they speak. Their ability to keep a cool head is undoubtedly an enviable quality for all who aren't capable of doing that. However, blues' critical thinking can easily turn to suspicion and questioning those around them. Everything can become suspect and sinister. A group should consist of all colors to create the best possible dynamic in a perfect world. We would have an equal number of each color. The yellow comes up with the new idea. The red makes the decision, the green has to do all the work, and the blue evaluates and makes sure that the results are excellent. But this isn't the case. Different people are motivated by different things, and it can cause them to move away from their core behavior in specific situations. But that's a whole other topic. At work, you can't always choose the people you work with. They're just there, whether you would have chosen them or not. In the professional world, you have to play a good game with the cards that you do have. But outside of work, when you can choose who you will spend your time with, what kind of people do you choose? Have you chosen people that are similar to yourself? Or do you hang out with people who are your total opposite? Of course, there are no right or wrong answers, but it is interesting to think about it. When we can choose, who do we choose? And how do we choose the partner we want to spend the rest of our lives with? Your mirror image or your opposite? A fascinating question, right? And there you have it. Surrounded by idiots. The 4 types of human behavior. Please do help out. It is easy. Simply like this video so more people can enjoy it. Share it too and spread the word. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Subscribe to my channel and stay up to date. And the link to this book is in the description below. Buy it, read, never stop learning, especially learning about yourself and nature. So gift yourself by taking the free human needs test on my website and find out what actually motivates you. What innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. And if you feel you are ready to improve your self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management even further, do check out my Master of Life Awareness program. The links are in the description below. Thank you. Love and respect.